All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Robert Smirking Gun Reviews. We are here now finally at the finale of season 1 of Friends from College. It's episode 8. It is called A Night of Surprises. So full spoilers if you have not seen the episode. So we finally made it to the end. Finally. I knocked out like 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 5 videos in a night. So that tomorrow we can start watching and reviewing season 2. So I hope you've been enjoying these. I know I've been knocking them out pretty fast. Haven't spent tons of time on them. They've only been about 12 to 14 minutes long. But they're half-hour episodes, so I don't know how long I was supposed to talk anyway. But here we are. We get the finale set up for... I don't know where they're going to go with this. Well, I mean, I kind of... feel like I thought some more happened the first time around. I kind of remember things a little differently. But Lisa wants to tell Ethan about what happened between her and Nick. Of course, Nick doesn't want her to tell her, Ethan anything because nothing good ever comes from it. But again, that's just how Nick is. Quickly to mention, and something I forgot to mention way back when Fred Savage and Keegan-Michael Key were playing tennis. I was reminded of that scene when Nick and Ethan were playing racquetball. I don't know why they make the female grunts. It is a little... it just shows how childish they all are whenever they get together. The first time I saw the joke when they were playing tennis was funny. But knowing that they do it when it's not, wherever they're doing it, it's, I don't know, it's weird. And in this case, with Nick not wanting her to tell, it shows now, like, by the end of the episode, that Nick is just as messed up as everybody else. Because of how his reaction to what she's said to him, what he does later on. So their toxicity and their problems is now infecting Nick, who was pretty much the most stable of them all. I mean, he was living his truth, he and the people around him, at least accepted it, or at least they seem to accept it. But it's the night of Sam's 40th birthday, and Lisa's planning on telling Ethan about what happened. But he's freaking out because he thinks she knows about him and Sam. And so he goes to confront her. She says no. So, I mean, everybody's basically saying no. And I am forgetting the beginning. How can you forget the beginning? Because it starts with Hanson's Mbop. And look, nothing good can come from an episode starting with the song Mbop. No. When you're way too happy, first off... I guess Fred Savage's character really likes that song. I don't know. But I do like what this shows about how Max has been dealing with all these distractions and stuff, and his own relationship with Felix breaking down because of his relationships with his college friends. And how him trying to reconnect with Felix has made him completely oblivious to the fact that Wolf Trials, the book that he's been working on with Ethan, is already a thing. He's been so spaced out and tuned out that he doesn't realize that his publishing company has been working on a book called Wolf Trials about the exact same thing that him and Ethan are working on. I kind of gotta call bullshit on that because, Jesus, dude, I can check out sometimes too, but I know what's going on in the room enough to know that I would remember a book called Wolf Trials being done. So I have a little problem with the character being that stupid. I don't think he's that stupid. I don't like it when writers make choices like that the character wouldn't be that dumb. He just wouldn't. And there's a couple of things like that in this episode. So even though I like the episode, that's a really dumb move. So Ethan's freaking out because he knows nothing good comes from somebody saying we have to talk. And it's kind of true. Or and if it's not, like if somebody tells you we have to talk and it's not bad, that person clearly doesn't know how to tell people that I don't know. It's late. It's 11:55 and I've made 5 videos in a row. So they all meet up at the party. Ethan's ready, like freaking out. And Max hasn't told Ethan about the book. I do like that whole scene where he thinks he's being punked and finding out about it. I do love how they slow down bop. But Lisa shows up at the party in crutches. It's the first time Ethan's seen her. Sam is freaking out because she doesn't know what Ethan's going to do. Sam's also freaking out because she's worried about what Ethan's going to say to Lisa, because this is about to blow up her whole life. And honestly, it's about time. Like in a way, like all these characters are kind of like at the end of their rope. Like they're all just kind of ready for things to explode. They look worn out. They feel worn out. I feel worn out going along this journey with them. Like I'm ready for them all to just tell everybody everything. And it really comes clear when they're going to do the Monica Lewinsky musical. But before we can get to that, we have to get to the night of surprises. Okay, so yeah, Greg Germanin, Sam's husband, John, has this night of surprises that has an archer, and he looks like they seem to be doing all right for themselves, and I don't know what he thinks she likes, but I don't think that having some guy who looks like you found him at I don't even know, like a sideshow or like something you'd find on Craigslist, like what's the world's deadliest weapon? And everybody's guessing machine gun, 2 machine guns, nuclear weapons, a bomb. No, the correct answer is bow and arrow. And I gotta give it up to this guy. He really commits to the whole bow and arrow thing. And he clearly, unless they must have found a real archer, because he's pretty good at what he does. But it's just a very bizarre scene set to the music from the Fox's NFL pregame music. Like, dude, can't they get in trouble for using that music? I don't know. But anyway, so then they go inside, and that's when they're going to do the Monica Lewinsky musical. And this is where you can really tell that everybody's basically had it. And I think they're basically telling, like, the audience, too. Like, they're all exhausted. Everything that's gone on in the course of this season is now just, like, too much. Everything has come to a boiling point. And now now Max wants them all to put on the Monica Lewinsky musical, and one last desperate attempt to hold on to the memories of their college years at this 40th birthday party. And even Ethan, who is doing a fantastic job at an impression of Bill Clinton, like combining like flawlessly, changing from Bill Clinton to Barack Obama to Donald Trump. That's great. And poor Nick, why do I have to be Nancy Tripp or whatever her name was? But they're right. This isn't what anybody wants. It's not relevant. The whole thing about, like Marianne says about, the 2 things is why here, why now? And they're right. I mean, once she says students, and it's like, yeah, it was over 20 years ago. Like, why are we doing this? Except for some desperate attempt to hang on to something that we need to let go of. Which shows in front of everybody else that they just stand there. They don't know what to do. They've lost the moment. They've lost their mojo. They're losing it all, and they just haven't, they just have to say the words like, we're done. Like, we've got to move on. We've got to take a break from everything. We got to, like, grow up. And they're all working professional jobs, but whenever they get around each other, they really are messed up. And so it's going to be interesting to see where this goes in season 2, because I mean, they really do need to take a break from each other, and they probably shouldn't have like close contact as a group for a while. And that even shows even further as the episode goes on. So the next thing that happens before they almost blow the birthday cake out is Chris Elliott shows up. Now, Chris Elliott is one of those people that I almost want to call like an idiot savant. Like, he's not a great actor. And he's not the funniest guy in the world. He's strange. I don't know how much of that is just an act, or if they just go, look, we need somebody bizarre, let's get Chris Elliott. But he can sometimes take something and make it funnier than it deserves to be. And he does a pretty good job here as this mentalist, who is the other part of the episode I'm going to call complete bullshit on, because these people can't be this stupid. Okay, this is manufactured stupid, because even as Ethan is telling everyone, because this guy will tell you what's on your mind, and immediately every person is being led by this guy, and they'll just give up the answer like they've been all just waiting to say the word Felix or streetcar. Like he's barely pushing them, and they are giving him everything. They can't be that stupid, and that bugged me. I mean, and Ethan telling him he's not doing anything. He's literally not doing anything. And the joke is that they're all just that stupid. They're all just so dumb. I mean, this is like Springfield, Simpsons, Springfield stupid. And so even though I think it's funny, and then all of a sudden the tone changes from like obvious complete stupidity, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, he's a complete fraud, to all of a sudden being pretty dead on when he gets to Nick's fiance. And that's the other part that we need to talk about, is everybody else's insanity has now led Nick to overcompensate for his feelings for Lisa and get engaged to this girl that he really doesn't care about, but he's trying to prove something to everybody that he can, have a relationship as bad as everybody else, I guess. So now this guy who was living a pretty stable life, if you want to call it that, I mean, he was living his truth, as I said, but now he's about to get into a bad marriage with a girl that has no idea that this guy doesn't really give a shit about her, all because he can't deal with his own feelings about Lisa. So everybody's infecting each other with their own, I don't know. But that's the point, but that's where the tone changes. Is all of a sudden he's right. This mentalist who is a complete fraud is right about the fact that Nick's not in love with his fiance. And this leads up to that tense thing when he gets to Ethan, of course, and tells him about there's a secret. I mean, you could say that about anybody, right? But of course, then another stupid move that just feels forced is they're all like, oh, who's going to speak first? Who's going to be the one to pop the cork? And of course, it's Lisa says, I slept with Nick. And I didn't like the way that happened. Again, I felt like forced. It felt really forced. And then, Ethan just being cool about it, way too cool about it. He should have at least pretended to be pissed off, but he doesn't. And yeah, the more I think about it, I know I said I liked this episode, but I got some problems with this episode, like real problems. Not enough to like hate, turn my back on the show or anything. It's just there's bad writing in here and forced decisions and manufactured drama that the writers should have done a better job at handling it. Because then immediately we go to the kids who, earlier foreshadowing, they were getting a driving lesson from Marianne. So we could get the payoff of the kids getting out of the car when it's time for cake and leave the car in neutral or whatever, so that it starts rolling towards the pool. And then when they all try to stop the car, that's when all the secrets come out in this desperate attempt to like, is this really the best time? Like, come on. This is when you decide to tell everybody anything. That's just dumb. So this is when Max tells Ethan about the book, which makes Ethan punch Nick, even though he said to Nick we were cool. And then still nobody, it never still comes out that Sam and Ethan did anything. So they've so far gotten away with it. And the car goes in the drink, and then Lisa tells Ethan that they need to take a break. And that's pretty much where it ends. You know, and I have no idea where they're going to start from, except that Ethan and Lisa are, I guess, separated or taking a break. You know, like you see how well that turned out for Ross and Rachel. And like, so that means that things are probably going to be strained with Nick, between Ethan and Nick, and things are going to be strained between Ethan and Max. So everybody's in a bad place going into season 2. So I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's going to be that much fun going into season 2 now that I think about it. But who knows? I mean, it's been a year since the show was on the air, so we'll see what the writers can come up with. And it better be a little bit better than this one, because this was the worst written episode. Just characters not behaving like people, like normal people. Like, this isn't just about what the characters wouldn't do. This is about what people don't do. And there's just things in here that are just go from bad writing choices to just plain old stupid. So even though I like this show, the writing ends on such a sour note that it kind of makes me go, I hope they have some better writing next year. So anyway, I don't want to end on a negative note, but I just have to be honest. I have to be. I don't want to let this show off the hook just because I have some nostalgia factors going on here. So anyway, we will be back tomorrow, starting with episode 1 of season 2. I don't know how many I'll get through because I only have one day off, and I would like to spend some time relaxing. So I'll probably do at least 1 or 2 of the episodes tomorrow. Definitely 1. So anyway, that's it. This is season 1. Thanks for watching these with me. I hope you like them. So if you did, hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Robin Smirking on Review saying we'll see you on season 2. Next week again, like I said, we've got The Punisher. We'll be doing all the episodes of The Punisher. Finally, a Marvel show that I'm ready since Daredevil to watch. And then we will be getting back to Happy and Patriot again, finally, after all that. So it's going to take a little while, but we'll get there. So anyway, this is Robin Smirking on Review saying have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. And I got to stop not knowing how to end these things.